This is April 19, Wednesday, and we are in BBIS class. Last time we were reading the myth of Sisyphus. I'll try to wrap it up today and try to move to the next essay. But before I go to the next essay, I'll take you to the opening of the Sisyphus essay, please. First, let me read the story of Sisyphus. What is the myth? The title is The Myth of Sisyphus. A myth is a cultural story. A myth is a story, cultural story, that contains both reality as well as imagination. So I read very fast, you can follow me. The gods had condemned Sisyphus to ceaselessly rolling a rock to the top of a mountain, whence the stone would fall back of its own weight. They had thought with some reason that there is no more dreadful punishment than futile and hopeless labor. So the essay opens in the middle of the story. So the essay opens and we see the situation. Gods have punished Sisyphus, and Sisyphus is pushing the rock, and the rock falls down the mountain the other side. Paragraph 2. I'll read very fast, explain very fast, you follow me. If one believes Homer now Camus is telling us about Sisyphus through Homer. This technique is known as illusion. Illusion, it is also known as intertextuality. I have talked about it last time, I remember. If one believes Homer, Sisyphus was the wisest and most prudent of all mortals. So Sisyphus was mortal, he died. And he had two qualities. One, he was the wisest and prudent. Prudent is one who can take right decision. Who is prudent? Who takes right decision. According to another tradition, now look, Camus brings many sources to tell us about this myth. According to another tradition, however, he was disposed to practice the profession of highwayman. A highwayman is a man who roams on the highway and loots people who travel to the highway. So, तपाईँले यसरी ध्यान दिनु भएन भने म अन क्यामेरामा चाहिँ मैले ठट्टै 4 पाना पल्टाउँछु पाठै पढाउँदैन र अर्को पाठमा जान्छ तपाईँ सफर गर्नुहुन्छ जब मैले लाइन बेलाइन पढे जस्तो गर्नु पऱ्यो नि त. So he was a highwayman. I see no contradiction in this. Opinions differ as to the reasons why he became the futile laborer of the underworld. See, he was a futile laborer, and this term futile laborer and underworld. This word futile laborer is very important because it relates to modern workers' condition. Today, workers also have futile labor. They do and they get nothing. Labor is futile and brings no result to you. Okay. To begin with, he is accused of a certain levity in regard to the gods. So he didn't give much respect to gods. He stole their secrets. Is now the story develops. Sisyphus knew secret things about the gods. Aegina, now pay attention to the story, the daughter of Sisyphus was carried up by Jupiter. Now three characters come. We have Aegina, we have Sisyphus, we have Jupiter. Aegina is a young, beautiful girl. Jupiter falls in love with Aegina. Jupiter is another god, and Jupiter forcefully kidnaps Aegina to make his wife. And Sisyphus is Aegina's father. Here we have Sisyphus. Sisyphus comes in this. Why? Because Sisyphus knows all this. The important thing for Sisyphus is that Sisyphus knows all the secret things gods do. So when Jupiter came to kidnap Aegina, Sisyphus was aware of this thing and he knew that Aegina had been kidnapped by Sisyphus. Sorry, kidnapped by Jupiter. Okay. He who knew of the abduction offered to tell about it on a condition that Sisyphus would give water to the citadel of Kathmandu. Now see the twist in the story. So Sisyphus says, tell me where is my father. Sisyphus says, I will tell you, but give me water. Because Sisyphus was the king of his land, and the land where Sisyphus ruled, it had water. But the land where Sisyphus ruled, Corinth, the city of Corinth, the citadel of Corinth, the port of Corinth. Corinth was a place where Sisyphus ruled. So Corinth had no water. So people in Corinth had problem of drinking water. They had to go elsewhere and bring water. So Sisyphus wanted to help his people. So he told Sisyphus that you give water because you have water. I will take the water to my people, and in return I'll tell you where his daughter is. So daughter and water. Daughter and water were exchanged, right? So he told about daughter and he gave him water. Okay. Read, I'll be very fast. Follow. To the celestial and thunderbolts he preferred the benediction of water. So he was punished for this in the underworld. Now, because Sisyphus used his trick of forcing Sisyphus to give water, God was not happy. So for this, gods punished Sisyphus. Why? Gods punished Sisyphus because Sisyphus brought water to the land of men, mortals. Before that, water was available only in the land of the gods. Water was not available to men, human beings. It was only with the immortals, the gods. And gods were so angry, they punished him. How? Homer tells us also that Sisyphus had put, now another story. Look, a third story. According to the third story of this myth, look, now in the exam you can get a question. What are the three strands of the myth explained? We have three stories here. Look, the first story, he was a highwayman, right? Then second story, first, he was the wisest and prudent mortal. Second, he was a highwayman. Third, he was the ruler of city of Corinth. He was punished for this in the underworld. Homer tells us also that Sisyphus had put death in chains. Now, look, once Sisyphus got aged, he was going to die, and then death came to Sisyphus, take him to underworld. And Sisyphus, even while dying, was so powerful that he held death by the arms and he captured death. He captured death and he tied death. Now death could not kill Sisyphus. Death could not go anywhere. So nobody died. There was a problem because nobody died. Why nobody died? Because the god of death was kidnapped, let's say, captured by Sisyphus. So Pluto, Sisyphus had put death in chains. Pluto, the god of death, could not endure the sight of his deserted silent empire. Now what is Pluto? Pluto is the god of death, where all people go when they die. When death was sent, nobody died. So nobody went to Pluto's country. There was no one in Pluto's country because nobody died. Why nobody died? Because death was sent. So Pluto was unhappy. He dispatched the god of war to fight with Sisyphus, who liberated death from the hands of her conqueror. And god of war sent by Pluto defeated Sisyphus and freed death and brought death back to Pluto. Now third story, paragraph 3. It is said also that Sisyphus, being near to death, rashly, now fourth story. I told you, myth is a combination of a number of stories. I want to know what is this and talk to you. Are you clearly? यो ल्याब सिट रहेछ अनि यो ल्याब सिटमा डाटा टाइपको बारेमा कुरा भइरहेको रहेछ अनि यसमा आरसी लामिछानेको नाम रहेछ BBIS फर्स्ट इयर सेकेन्ड सेमको युट्युब भिडियो हेर्ने मान्छेले थाहा पाइराख्नुहोस् है। हाम्रो आरसीले आज क्लासमा बदमासी गर्यो र आयुषले बदमासी गर्यो। आयुषलाई बदमासी गर्न आरसीले सहयोग गर्यो। कसरी सहयोग गर्यो भने आरसीले आफ्नो नोट कपी आयुषलाई दियो सार्नलाई र यी दुवैजना बदमास निस्के। यिनीहरूले आफै पढ्नु पर्थ्यो लेख्नु पर्थ्यो दर्शकहरू, तर यिनीहरूले चाहिँ चोर्ने काम गरे। थाहा पाइराख्नुहोस् है बच्चाहरू आजकल के गर्छन्, टिचरलाई कसरी छक्काउँछन् भनेर। र आयुषले के गरिरहेछ, म पढाइरहेको छु बुझाइरहेको छु, आयुष मजाले सारेर बसिरहेछ। आयुषले आरसीको सारिरहेछ। अब आयुषले मलाई बताऊ फेस मैले खिचिरहेको छैन, यो तिमीले आफूलाई सारे कसैलाई सारेको कि अरू कसैलाई सारिदिएको? यस्तो गर्न हुँदैन बस, गरेर हुन्छ त यस्तो हुँदैन है। तिमीले मैले सुन न, मैले पढाउँदा त मैले भनेको सुन्नु पऱ्यो नि, हो कि होइन? हो कि होइन? रियलाइज त गर्छौ नि। के भन्दा अब यो डाटाको क्लासमा इङ्ग्लिस पढ्ने, इङ्ग्लिस डाटा पढ्यो भने त टोइलेट जाने बेलामा किचन जाने, किचन टोइलेट जाने के हुन्छ? मैले इक्जाम्पल झरो दिएँ काम क्यामेरा। टोइलेट लाग्दा किचन गयो, त्यहाँ आछि गरेर आयो, अनि भोक लाग्दा टोइलेट गयो, अब के हुन्छ? बर्बाद हुँदैन? त्यस्तै काम नगर्ने ल। मेरो इक्जाम्पल तिमीलाई मन नपर्ला, तर के यस्तै आयो, यस्तै आयो, यस्तै काम नगर्ने ल। दुनियाँले थाहा पाउँछ यस्तो गऱ्यो भनेर। मैले यसपालि तिमीहरूको फेस खिचिरहेको होइन, फेस आउँदैन, नाम मात्रै लिएँ मैले, नाम चाहिँ लिन्छु, नाम चाहिँ बदल्ने नाम लिन्छु। तर एक लेभलभन्दा बढी बदमासी गऱ्यो भने फेस पनि लिन्छु। हदै बदमासी गऱ्यो भने म तिम्रो पुरा फुल इन्टरभ्यू लिन्छु टेलिभिजनमा जस्तै, र दुनियाँको गाडी प्रेजेन्ट गरिदिन्छु, हेर बच्चाहरू के गरिरहेको छ भनेर। यसले कमसेकम तिमीलाई एउटा प्रेसर त बनाउँछ नि, यस्तो गर्नु है, सर यस्तो गर्नुहुन्छ अरूहरू त्यति गर्दै हुन्छ। मैले यही स्टोरी गरिरहेको छु, एउटा क्लास मैले खिच्दिनँ, मैले एक्सप्लेनै गरिरहेको छु। त्यहाँ मैले के देखिरहेको छु, अब लट अफ डिसिप्लिनरी प्रब्लम थियो। किनभने मलाई त्यो कुनै फियरै छैन कि जे गरे नि कोही थाहा पाउँदैन भने जे पाते गर्छ। यसले के हुन्छ, रेकर्ड त बस्यो नि। अब आयुषको मनमा पनि चस्को पस्यो नि, ला नाम लिनुभयो, आरसीमा लिनुभयो, अब आरसीले चस्को पस्यो होला होइन। अब यस्तो नहोस् भन्नलाई स्टे अलर्ट, डु व्हाट आई से, डोन्ट डु जुन कुरा गर्नु नगर कि। एउटा विषय पढाइरहेको छ, उहाँ सिसिफसको कुरा गरिरहेको छ, अनि उहाँ डाटा एनालिसिस कसरी हुन्छ? यसरी पढ्यो भने तिम्रो पढाइ सिसिफस हुन्छ है। तिम्रो पढाइ के हुन्छ? रक बुक यस्तो हुन्छ, मिनिङलेस हुन्छ। ओके, अघिबाटै हेरिरहेको थिएँ मैले कि अघि किन नबोलेको भने तिमी एकछिनमा आफै बन्द गर्छौ नबोलेको। तिमीले बन्द नगरेर घरिघरि गर्न थाल्छ मतलब म आएको क्या त्यहाँ, मैले अघि देखिसकेँ। हामीले त के गर्थ्यो यस्तो, यसरी मिठो बोल्थ्यो क्या, च्याप्पसँग बाहिर उचालेर बाहिर भन्थ्यो हामीलाई, यसरी मिठो बोल्थ्यो हाम्रो टिचरले। यस्तो त यस्तो त इट वाज इनएक्सक्युजेबल। हाम्रो रुल के थियो टिचर क्लासमा आएपछि? पहिलो रुल, डु नट स्माइल। Can you imagine? Our teacher said, do not smile, do not laugh, do not talk. के गर्ने रे भन्दा कन्सन्ट्रेट। टिचरले के भन्नुहुन्थ्यो? कन्सन्ट्रेट गर्ने। अनि टिचर धारा प्रभाव बोल्ने, बोल्न पनि राम्रो बोल्ने विद्वान मान्छे हुनुहुन्थ्यो होइन। उहाँले के भने, म बोल्छु त सुन भन्ने कि फाइटै हुन्छ, सुन्नु। अब अहिले के भइरहेको छ, हरेक कुरा डिस्ट्र्याक्सन छ। ओके, आइम गोइङ टु थर्ड पार्ट। Now I'm reading the next story. अहिले मैले के भनिरहेको थिएँ त, आयुषले के गर्यो, यत्रो डिस्ट्र्याक्सन गरिदियो कि, त्यहाँ रोकेँ, त्यहाँ गएँ, उसँग कराएँ, क्यामेरा खिचेँ, यहाँ आएँ, नेपाली बोलेँ, डिस्ट्र्याक्सन भएको भएन। उसले गर्दा यस्तो नगर ल, तिमी पनि त टिचर हुन्छौ नि त, तिमी टिचर हुन्छौ, म्यानेजर हुन्छौ, तिम्रो अन्डरमा काम गर्ने मान्छेले यसरी त उल्लु काम गरेर फ्याक्ट्री आउँदैन, कसरी काम गर्छ? सक्दैन भने होइन। ओके, कोअपरेट योर टिचर, help your teacher to help you better. It is said also that Sisyphus, being near to death, now this is a very funny story, rashly wanted to test his wife's love. So Sisyphus was going to die, and he thought, I should find out how much my wife loves me. मर्ने बेलामा चाहिँ उसलाई मेरो वाइफले कति माया गर्छ थाहा नलागे। He ordered her to cast his unburied body into the middle of the public square. Now, see, every human being deserves good burial after death. हरेक मान्छेले मरेपछि क्रिया कर्म राम्रो पाउने ह्युमन राइट हो। आफ्नो धर्मअनुसार पाउनुपर्छ। क्रिस्चियन हो बरी हुनु, मुस्लिम हो बरी हुनु, हिन्दू हो जल्नु पर्यो, त्यो पाउनुपर्छ। त्यो नियम हो भाइ। त्यही भएर कुनै लावारिस भयो भने सरकारले उठाएर स्वर्गति गर्छ नि होइन। पशुपतिमा एकजना हुनुहुन्छ महिला होइन, छोरी तपाईँ जस्तै नामले बिर्से, उहाँले चाहिँ त्यो लावारिस लासहरूलाई सद्गति गरिदिनुहुन्छ ल्याएर खर्च। सो he said to his wife, okay darling, I have given a lot of trouble, so when I die take a revenge. के गरेर भने when I die don't give me good burial, throw my body in the चोकमा लगेर फाल्दै, मलाई बडी फाल्दै स्वर्गति नगरेर मेरो बडीलाई गिद्धले खान्छ, कुकुरले खान्छ, स्यालले खान्छ, and you can take a revenge भन्ने के हो। किन I didn't love you throughout life, I gave you trouble. Sisyphus woke up in the underworld. Now he died, and his body was there on earth. His soul went to underworld, and he woke up in the underworld, and there, annoyed by an obedience so contrary to human life, he had thought कि मैले मेरो वाइफले मेरो बडी फाल्दियो भने पनि वाइफ पछि गर्दैन होला, सी विल टेक केयर अफ माई बडी अफ डेथ। तर उहाँ गएर के देख्यो, तल हेर्दाखेरि माथि हेर, अन्डरवर्ल्डको माथि हेर, अरे मेरो बडी त त्यहाँ फालेको छ। सक भयो कि मैले त ठट्टा गरेको भने त्यो त साँच्चीकै मलाई माया गर्ने रहेछ, फिल भयो। अब के भयो, he obtained from Pluto permission to return to earth in order to chastise his wife, to punish. He thought, okay, I should punish my wife. So he told Pluto, the god of death, he told Pluto, the god of death, sir, please allow me to go back to my wife for one day, have some जरुरी काम पर्यो, बिचरा आएछ, मैले जान्दिनँ भन्नु भने के myth is myth, यस्तो रियलमा हुँदैन नि, myth यस्तो हुन्छ। त्यही myth has two aspects, element of reality and fantasy. Myth is a story that combines fantasy and reality. myth के हो, it has a reality and fantasy. अब यहाँ मरेपछि वाइफ कहाँ आयो भने चाहिँ fantasy भयो नि। But when he had seen again the face of this world, enjoyed अब के भयो, look, this is the point to note, to understand. So Sisyphus came to earth, right? And on earth, what did he see? What did he see? Look here. He saw the world. He saw water. He saw sun. He saw warm stones. He saw the sea. We can guess कि मरेपछि फर्केर आएर घरमा आयो, घरमा आयो नि त, घरमा आएपछि त वाइफलाई पनि भेट्यो। यो यहाँ लेखेको छैन, तर बुझ्नुपर्छ कि he met wife। जब एउटा हस्बेन्डले वाइफलाई मिट गर्छ, वाइफले हस्बेन्डले मिट गर्छ, हामी गेस गर्छौँ कि त्यहाँ रोमान्स हुन्छ, त्यसलाई हामी के भन्छौँ, कार्नल प्लेजर। We call it carnal pleasure. अर्को वर्डमा we call it sensual pleasure. यो कसरी हुन्छ, सेन्सबाट। तपाईँ आफ्नो बेलुकालाई आँखाले हेर्नुहुन्छ, प्रेम देखाउनुहुन्छ, हातले छुनुहुन्छ, मेरी मायालु भन्नुहुन्छ होइन। अब किस गर्नुहुन्छ, नजिक भएपछि स्मेल पनि हुन्छ बडीको, अनि 5वटा सेन्सले मिठो मिठो आई लभ यु बोल्नुहुन्छ, सुन्नुहुन्छ भने तपाईँले प्रेम के को आधारमा गर्नुहुन्छ, 5वटा सेन्सको आधारमा। के को आधारमा? लभ त सेन्सले हुन्छ नि त, छुँदा हात प्रयोग भयो, इत्रो लगाएको छ, पर्फ्युम छ भने स्मेल भयो होइन, गालामा मही खानुभयो भने जिब्रोले हुनसक्छ होइन, अनि मिठो मिठो बोल्नुभयो, प्यारी भन्नुभयो भने कानले सुन्नुहुन्छ, मुखले बोल्नुहुन्छ, आँखाले देख्नुहुन्छ। त्यसको अर्थ के बुझ्नु पर्यो, यहाँ भन्न खोजेको के हो, लाइफ अन अर्थ इज मच मोर प्लिजेन्ट देन लाइफ इन हेभन। बुझ्नु परेको त्यो लाइफ अन अर्थ, earthly pleasures are far more attractive than heavenly pleasure. त्यो हो कि सामान्यतः हामी के पढ्छौँ, स्वर्ग भन्नु पर्छ, हामीले पढाएर स्वर्ग बढी राम्रो छ पढ्छौँ, कसले देखा छ? देखा छ यो त देखिरहेको छ। यहाँ त आयुष सबले चकचक गर्छ, किसिमको काम गरेर गाडी गर्न पाइन्छ। यहाँ आयुष यत्रो बनाएर बस्छ होइन, यो त अफ हो है। हेभन कसले देखाएको छ राइट? यो सिकाउनु खोजेको के हो भन्दाखेरि प्लेजर्स अफ द अर्थ, लाइफ अन अर्थ इज फार मोर इम्पोर्टेंट than pleasures of life in heaven, and Sisyphus chooses earth against heaven. Sisyphus chooses earth against heaven. So Sisyphus takes a decision what to live on earth, not heaven. Right? Sisyphus takes a decision, right? And every decision you take brings a consequence. The point here, if you have a tragic consequence that resulted from your decision, bear it. I took the decision, I will bear the consequence. Okay? I'll bear the consequence because I took it's my decision, I'll bear the consequence. कसरी पढ्नु पर्छ र? कतिवटा पाठ सिकाएको छ। When you take decisions, understand every decision brings a consequence. If you took the decision, be ready to bear the consequence also. Right? Okay. He no longer wanted to go back to the infernal darkness. Look, God of death, Pluto, said to Sisyphus, what did he say? Come back. God said, come back. Sisyphus said, no. He said, for example, so Sisyphus disobeyed God of death. Sisyphus disobeyed God of, and remember, disobedience is a very strong theme in Bible, because the whole story of creation begins with disobedience. When Adam and Eve were told by God in Eden Garden not to taste the fruit of knowledge, there was a tree of knowledge, and that tree bore fruits like apples. And God said to Adam and Eve, He said, walk around the garden, enjoy, no problem. Live life is happy, blissful life. But don't do one thing. Never taste this fruit. Because if you tasted the fruit of knowledge, you will be concerned about your existence. God said, don't taste. Now serpent came, the snake came. Actually, it was not a snake. It was the devil who came to the two people in a home snake. And in that time, Lazarus went to walk around the garden. The wife was at home. Eve was at home. The snake came and he said, look, God does not want you to be like him. So he says, don't eat this fruit. So you should eat the fruit. And he poisoned Eve's ear so much that in the evening when husband came, she said, darling, let's eat the fruit. And one day they decided to eat the fruit. And they plucked the fruit and they ate the fruit. The moment they ate the fruit, the first thing that happened was, we are naked, they said. They became aware of themselves. And they began to cover their private parts. When God was coming there, they ran away from God because they thought, I'm naked. innocence was lost. Children never cover the private parts. Do they? No. Children start covering private parts when you make them aware. Puppy shame you say. There is the बल्ल छोड्छ भने हामी ठुलो मान्छेले भने पुप्पी हामी सिकाउँछौँ यो खराब हो भनेर अदरवाइज मलाई उसलाई इनोसेन्ट छ खराब केही होइन प्राइभेट पार्ट्स आर नट खराब वी टिच देम यो खराब हो एन्ड ही स्टार्ट्स कमिङ सो आई टोल्ड a brief story about the fall of Adam and Eve here and I said the whole story in Bible begins with the disobedience. Okay? Disobedience. And here we have the same thing. Sisyphus disobeys God. Our gods are powerful. Sisyphus is powerless. Powerless disobeys powerful. I के भयो आएछ disobey गर्यो क्लासमा गडको दिवाकरसँग डन्डा छ के डन्डा सोनेको जीवन क्यामेरा छ दिवाकरसँग डन्डा चलाइदिनु भयो कसै क्यामेरा देखाइदिनु आएछ क्लासमा ला मलाई पनि हाल्नुहुन्छ डन्डा चल्यो अनि आइसीमा चाहिँ डन्डा चल्यो एडब्री मार त दुईजनालाई एकछिनलाई पहिला इडन गार्डनमा हाम्रो क्लास के हो इडन गार्डन म गड मैले के भनेको छु बारम्बार यो चाहिँ इङ्ग्लिस क्लास अरू विषय नपढ्नु भनिरहेको छु नि त अब डिसोबिडियन्स सुरु भयो इङ्ग्लिस क्लास र दादा क्लास पढ्नु बस्यो अब पढ्यो डन्डा चलाउनु भयो लाइन लाग्यो लाइन अप्लाई गर्नु रहेछ डिसिप्लिनमा ब्रिज गऱ्यो भने पनिसमेन्ट हुन्छ when there is disobedience there is punishment wherever there is breach of law there is punishment right चाहे हेभनमा छ क्लासरुममा अहिले पढ्नु त कस्तो रमाइलो कुरा आयो so recalling science look recall भन्छ नि त्यो टोयोटाको गाडीमा कोही समस्या आयो भने 10 लाख गाडी रिकल गर्छ एकचोटि फिर्ता पाउँछ नि कम्पनीले थाहा छ कुनै सामानमा म्यानुफ्याक्चरिङ डिफेक्ट आयो भने त्यो लटै रिकल गर्छ कि कम्पनीले फिर्ता देऊ भन्छ कि अनि अर्को दिन्छ गाडी रिकल कलिङ ब्याक रिकल साइन्स अफ एङ्गर वार्निङ वेयर अफ नो अवेल मेनी इयर्स मोर he lived facing the curve of the gulf the sparkling sea look he didn't go Sisyphus didn't go to heaven to Pluto he lived on the sparkling sea and the smiles of earth the smiles of earth भने कि smiles को वाइफ बनायो त्यो पनि हो a decree of the gods was necessary Mercury came and seized the impudent man by the collar यहाँसम्म त Mercury आयो यहाँसम्म त Sisyphus ल त नजाने तपाईँ बच्चा बच्चीले बढी बदमासी यहाँ समात्नुहुन्छ नि टिचर पनि सानो सानो कुर्ता यहाँ समात्नुहुन्छ नि यहाँ कलर समात्नु right and snatching him from his joys led him forcibly back to the underworld where his rock was ready for now he came to the underworld यहाँ के थियो rock was ready next paragraph you have already grasped that Sisyphus is the absurd hero now copy note down important concepts from this essay important concepts from this essay म जति बुझाउँछु बाँकी बिङ गरेर बुझ्ने है तर बुझ्ने के you must understand this concept very clearly okay you have already grasped that Sisyphus is the absurd hero exam ma ke huncha what do you mean by absurd hero how is Sisyphus an absurd hero explain he is as much through his passions as through his torch or who is absurd hero right he is as much through his passions as through his. Look, 3D area छ त्यहाँ एउटा रिफरेन्स छ नि अल इज वेल भन्छ नि घरिघरि एब्सर्ड हिरोमा जुन चाहिँ इज लुक Sisyphus accepts happiness and sadness equally. Sisyphus is unchanged. Sisyphus shows same attitude during happiness as well as sadness. यसलाई भन्छ in Sanskrit यसलाई भन्छ उदात्त भाव, निष्काम भाव, निष्प्रिय. दिस इज एक्चुअली निष्प्रिय भनेको सुख दुःख भन्दा माथि. तिमी योगी भयो भने त्यो स्टेट अफ माइन्डमा पुग्छौ जब तिमी सुखले मातिदैनौ, दुःख पर्दा मातिदैनौ. एब्सोल्युट भनेको सुखले मातिदैन, दुःखले आतिदैन. सुख दुःख भन्दा माथि. यो आइडिया कहाँबाट आएको? लुक, अल्बर्ट कामुज दिस आइडिया अफ एब्सर्ड हिरो. तिमीले कन्फरेन्समा पेपर गर्दै this idea of absurd hero has come from Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogi. Yogi. Who is the absurd hero? Yogi is absurd hero. Because the yogi is not affected by happiness and sadness. He is calm. He is calm and tranquil in both states of mind. एक अर्बको लट्टी पर्यो यस्तो गर्दै हिँड्ने होइन, उफ्रेर ओहो भनेर फन घुम्ने होइन. हाम्रो सम्पत्ति सरकारले कब्जा गरिदियो उता सुखमा नमात्तिने, दुःखमा नात्तिने. झुट बोलिरहेको छ. मलाई थाहा छ तिमीले दुईतिर बनाउँछ, कानमा भनिदिउँला, कानमा भनिदिउँला. ओके, लिभ इट. So with absurd hero, we are trying to argue that Albert Camus' idea of absurd hero is found in Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Yogi. Okay, read ahead. So para 4 defines what is absurd hero. His scorn of the gods, his hatred of death, and his passion for life won him that unspeakable penalty in which the whole being is exerted towards accomplishing nothing. Who is absurd hero? One who exerts his her whole being towards accomplishing nothing. So absurd hero is a combination of contradictions or oppositions. एउटै व्यक्तिमा दुई विपरीत गुणहरू सँगसँगै भयो भने यो राख्छ. जस्तै म यहीँ आइरहेको पानी पऱ्यो कि म जान्छु, मैले एक्टिभिटी थाकिरहेको छु, म कोही आएर बोल्ने मान्छे कि त्यसले के यस्तो किन हुन्छ थाहा छ? एज अ टिचर म अनेस्टली भन्छु जस्तो के भन्छ, विद्यार्थीको नजिक आउने एउटा सन्तोष बुझ्छु विद्यार्थी बुझ्छु. तर अनि अर्को बानी चाहिँ जस्तै नजिक आएर भनेको मैले सिकाएँ कि बढी के भयो कि भन्ने एउटा तिमीले पनि त घरमा बच्चा बच्ची छोराछोरी भाइ बहिनी छ भने काका हुन्छ नजिकै जान्छौ किन त बच्चा बच्चीसँग खेल्छौ थोडा अफेक्टेड हुन्छ म यहाँ हुन्छु अब त्यहाँ कति कुरा होइन यहाँ पर छ कि ओके आई सेड द एब्सर्ड हिरो इज combination of the opposites. Kasari, look the thing here. He gives his whole energy. He gives whole energy to achieve nothing. You kyo thacha? You are niskam karma. So, Sisyphus' philosophy kyo? Karmanyeva धिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन उसले त ढुङ्गालाई पुस गर्दा के भन्छ आफ्नो कर्म कब्लित हो परिणामको चिन्ता नगर परिणामको चिन्ता गर्यो भने त्यसलाई थाहा छ त्यो ढुङ्गा कुन गरेर खस्छ त्यसले दुःख हुन्छ तर कर्म गर्छ कर्मकै उसलाई पनिसमेन्ट दिएको छ ढुङ्गा पुस गर्ने त्यो भयो त्यसको परिणामलाई चिन्ता फेरि कन्सिक्वेन्सबारे धेरै सोच्यो भने कम त हिट फेरि परिरहेको छ गएर फेरि क्या राति सुतेर पढ्न सुरु गर्दा फेरि जिबी आओस् पढ्दै फेरि आफ्नो आउँछ नि तर पढ्ने कम सोच्ने भयो कि के क्लासमा नाम घरे भयो अनि फेरि क्या गरेर गइरहेको के आउँछ त धेरैबारे नसोच्नु पढिरहेको कर्म गर्ने कन्सिक्वेन्स बारे चिन्ता कति राम्रो You have this philosophy. मैले यसपालि चाहिँ नि यो 8-9 वर्ष पढाइसक्यो यसपालि नयाँ इन्टरप्रेसन आयो कि मलाई यो अगाडि आएको थिएन यस्तो यो द न्यू इन्टरप्रेसन अगाडि पढाउँदा This is the price that must be paid for the passions of this earth. Look, Sisyphus pays price for the passions of the right. Okay. Nothing is told us about Sisyphus in the underworld. Myths are made for the imagination to breathe life into them. See, when you read a myth, you must bring your imagination to understand it. You cannot understand a myth by taking it as reality. You should also use imagination. As for this myth, one sees merely the whole effort of a body is straining to raise the huge stone. Whole effort of the body to raise a huge stone. Can I answer? Note down the concept one. The concept of existentialism. Look, according to the concept of existentialism, what happens to you is not determined by God. What happens to you is not determined by God. What happens to you is determined by the conditions in which you live. According to existentialism, what happens to you in your life is never determined by a divine force of God. No, there is no God. It is not God who decides what will happen in your life. Your own actions decide what will happen in your life. In other words, your life situation determines what happens in your life. So, do you see In existentialism, the body is a pile of nitrogen and oxygen and hydrogen floating in the universe like any other dust particle. And you have an existence. And look, this stone is your life. This stone is your life. Body is you. You and your life. Now, what will happen in your life depends on the decisions you take. म नालीको गटरमा खसेँ कहाँ खसेँ फोहोरमा खसेँ के किन खसेँ कलेजबाट निस्केपछि बाटोमा भट्टीमा छिरेँ टन्न रक्सी खाएँ यति खाएँ कि म धानिनै सकिनँ बाइकसितै कहाँ गएर खसेँ कन्सिक्वेन्स के भयो falling in the gutter किन decided to go to the भट्टी and kill अब नालीमा खसेपछि भगवानले खसेर भन्नु मिल्दैन कि अब आयुषले भगवानलाई गाली गर्दैन अब आयुषले ला आज बाबा कसम उठेको छु भन्ने होइन ला आज हेर्ने बेला गणेश पूजा गरेर त्यस्तो भन्ने होइन आयुषले के भन्यो I decided to disobey the law of sun in the morning, so I got the consequence. And आयुषले फेरि के भन्यो I will bear this punishment if you must not control it. He is a boss. You took a decision, so you bear the because I took a decision to disobey, so I will bear the consequence. You are responsible for what happens in your existence. No external force. But the राम्रो छैन त त्यही भएर युनाइटेड गर्नुपर्छ तर सानो कोर्स पनि राम्रो कुरा छ धेरै पढाउनु पनि राम्रो कस्तो मलाई पनि हामी इन्जोय के रमाइलो लाग्यो कुराहरू मैले सोचेर मु भए पढाउँदा हो As for this myth, one sees merely the whole effort of a body is straining to raise the huge stone, to roll it and push it up a slope 100 times over. One sees the face screwed up. This point. One sees the face screwed up, the cheek tied against the stone, the shoulder bracing the clay-covered mass, the foot wedging it, the press stark with arms constricted, the wholly human security of two earth-clotted hands. एकछिन म यहाँ बसेर कुरा गर्छु ल तपाईँलाई केही कुरा गम्भीर सिकाउनु पर्ने ल यो लाइन फेरि पढ्नुहोस् त इट्स इम्पोर्टेन्ट फलो गर्नुहोस् त मलाई फलो गर्नुहोस् त लाइन पढ्दा As for this myth, one sees merely the whole effort of a body is straining to raise the huge stone. Look at me. What Kamu is teaching us is that let's say your life is the big rock. Your life is the big rock. It is so big that it is very difficult to handle it. तर के बुझ्नु पर्यो जति ठुलो रक भए पनि it's you who has to tackle life. You have to tackle life. अगाडि हेर्नुहोस् है मेरो आँखा देखाउनु पर्ने भयो कि झिक्छु देख्दिनँ लगाउँछु पर देख्दिनँ ओके to roll it up and push it up a slope 100 times over. आयुषको लागि BBA को पढाइ जति ठुलो रक भए पनि आयुषलाई भाग्ने ठाउँ छैन आयुषले BBIS को पढाइलाई आयुषले BBIS को रकलाई 4 वर्षसम्म डे बाई डे आवर बाई आवर क्लास बाई क्लास पिरियड बाई पिरियड पुश गरेर कन्भोकेसनसम्म पुर्याउने पर्छ अब आयुषले मलाई कामना बन्द उहाँले बुझ्नुपर्ने कुरा के हो? You must accept your life as it is and live it. के सिकाएको? Accept your life conditions as they are and bear them, face them, live them. Don't think of committing suicide. Alright, understand? To roll it up and push it up a slope 100 times over. Once see the face screwed up. अब त्यो सिसिफसलाई हेऱ्यो भने यस्तो गरेर छ उसको रड यहाँ एकजोड गर्नुहुन्छ नि त तपाईँले बल लगाउनुहुन्छ नि अनि फेस कस्तो हुन्छ हेर्दै गाह्रो हुँदैन राइट त्यसको अर्थ के हो give your 100% to life give your 100% to life खुदमा पर्छ जस्तो अगाडि पढ्नुहोस् त ओके the shoulder bracing the clay covered mass the foot wedging it the fresh start with arms constricted the holy human security of two earth clotted hands. The holy human security. What are the words? Human. Normally we look for divine security. Have you seen? We often look for divine security. हामीले गडलाई पूजा गर्छौँ नि किन वाइ डु वी वर्शिप गड टु गिभ अस सिक्युरिटी बाइकलाई नयाँ बाइक किन्नु हो भने नरिवल फोड्नुहुन्छ नि कार किन्नु हो किन एक्सिडेन्ट नहोस् नरिवल फोडेर एक्सिडेन्ट बस्दैन सेफ ड्राइभिङ गर्नुपर्छ सो बिलिभ इन ह्युमन सिक्युरिटी वाट सिक्युरिटी भन्नु खोजेको के हो You are the master of your destiny. The human being himself is the master of his or her destiny, not any god. Read ahead. At the very end of his long effort, measured by skyless space and time, without death, the purpose is achieved. Look. The purpose is achieved, the rock is taken to the top. Then Sisyphus watches the stone rush down in a few moments toward that lower world when he will have to push it up again toward the summit. He goes back down to the plain. With what attitude? Sisyphus has all is well attitude. So what is absurd hero? Absurd hero is a person who has all is well attitude. ये उनका होश जिंदगीमा ये उनका होश ट्रेजेडी माथि ट्रेजेडी परोस् एटिट्युड के हुनु पर्यो एटिट्युड के हुनु पर्यो all is जतिसुकै ट्रेजेडी परे पनि कस्तो चाहिँ पर्यो सर्कस चिन्ता गर्ने कति राम्रो हेर्नुहोस् त राम्रो छैन तपाईँलाई मन पर्दैन मलाई थाहा छ तपाईँ यङ मान्छे हुनुहुन्छ यस्ता कुरा फलो गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ सो वाट इज एब्सोल्युट हिरो एब्सोल्युट इज द all is well attitude next paragraph it is during this return that pause that Sisyphus enters me a face that toils so close to stones is already stone itself. I see that man. Look, what is absolute hero? Absolute hero is a person like a stone. The rock like push garda garda usko man pe rock bhaiseko छ के. You are like a stone like you. इजिली इमोसन्सबाट अफेक्टिभ बनायो स्टोर भनेको घाम पानी हावा बताहरू सुनेर स्टोर घामले पोलो स्टोरको रोग सुन्नु भएको छ पानी पर्दै चिसो भएर सुन्नु भएको छ स्टोर भनेको के स्टोर भनेको सुखदेखि दुःखसम्म एउटै भावमा बस्नु भनेको स्टोर भनेको स्टोर भनेको के हो सुखदेखि दुःखसम्म एउटै फिलिङमा बस्नु भनेको स्टोर भनेको Sisyphus is to like Sisyphus does not change his mood to the change of the situation. He is calm, tranquil. So when he is gloomy. He is situation अनुसार mood change नगर्ने मान्छेले के भन्छ gloomy भन्छ के भन्छ so Sisyphus is gloomy. The absolute hero is gloomy. Absolute hero is absolute भनेको के रहेछ ट्रेजेडी परे पनि कमेडी परे पनि काम भएर बस्छ कमेडी पर्दा हा गर्ने ट्रेजेडी पर्दा हु गर्ने होइन हादेखि उसँग नगुम्ने हुन्छ तपाईँले के सिकायो लाइफमा चाहे भगवान्ले भगवान लाइफले मेरो छोरीको उसमा लेखेको थियो कि त्यो फेसबुकमा मलाई भुल परोस् If life gives you lemons, make it lemonade. This is Sisyphus. If life gives you lemons, जिंदगी ले अमीर दियो के तुमने खोजे को बुलियो जीवन ले के दियो वो लेमन खाओ ना भाई किन रसोई खानु पर्यो ये विषय जे छ त्यसैलाई आफूलाई युज गर भनेर त्यस्तो आफूले लेमन छ लेमन बनाएर खाऊ त्यही हो एब्सोल्युट हिरो जे भए पनि युज गर्ने हामीलाई है कति मिठो कुराहरू जस्तो ल ब्रेक चाहिन्छ 5 मिनट ब्रेक दिए ल 5 मिनट जम्मा 5 मिनट Yeah, 5 minute break. Now we have, because we have 2 classes together, we have a 5 minute break and the next session will be recorded in the next video.